Okay, let me try it again. Hi, this is Scott, also AKA, okay. My name's Scott, Archangel777 from State 926 in the Viking Alliance, also known as VKA.
So what do you do for a living?
Well, actually I'm retired, but I do investments and acquisitions, so I have lots of time on my hands.
And what do you do in the time that you're free?
Well, I play Last Shelter Survivor, of course, but I like to garden and work with the animals in the area. I like to buy stuff, land, gold, different things.
What is your first impression of Last Shelter Survivor?
We've got hobbies. We have to do. You have any hobbies or stuff that you do?
That's what I did.
You asked me what I did for a living.
Yeah, and I said, what do you do in your free time?
Oh, I didn't catch that.
You just said, what do you do?
Shit, let's start over.
No, we can cut that out.
Okay,
Just put like a signal.
ask hobbies. What do you do for your hobbies? Or what is it? What are your okay.
So what are your hobbies?
My hobbies. Well, I'm a martial artist, a second-degree black belt in Hapkido. I hold belts in traditional karate, Kempo, Shorin-ryu, which is Okinawan karate, and I competitively competed for a number of years until I was 40 or older, maybe. I like to, I have my captain's license, so I like to drive boats. My scuba license, so I like to go scuba diving. But my favorite thing to do is to hunt and fish and do all those things with my daughter. That is my favorite thing to do.
What is your first impression of Last Shelter Survivor?
My first impression of Last Shelter Survivor, when I first got it, it was a war game. I really felt it was very similar to, would be similar to Ebony or March of Empires, games like that, where it's a war, like a chess, a mobile chess or a risk type game. But learn to find out it's so much more than that. To me, it's a social media platform with a game. It didn't start off that way, but I've been in 926 for 3 years, or about 3 years, ever since it started, and haven't left. So it's, pause there. What was the next question?
How long have you been playing in Last Shelter?
I've been playing Last Shelter for about 3 years now, I guess. So probably pretty much when State 926 opened up. And been loving it, you know, just enjoying the game.
Did you make any good friends in the game?
This is what I like most about Last Shelter, are the friends and the relationships. It started off as building a city, you know, or a base, so to speak, and managing that base. I like to do that kind of thing, like Sims when I was younger, different things like that. But it turned into more as you got to know people. And, you know, there's some false people that, you know, aren't who they are, but for the most part in our state, everybody's very open. They've become like family. I mean, most of them are what I call dear friends. I mean, in life in general, in the business I'm in, your friends are lawyers, doctors at my age, and bankers. So and they're not really your friends. But I could really have people that I call good friends and family on the game. It's been that endearing. Yes.
Which game mode do you like the most and why?
What?
Which game mode do you like the most and why?
Game mode?
Okay, mode of game.
Which part of Lost Shelter do I like the most? I would say I like Eden probably the best. It's one I like all parts of it, but the routine of it I like. I like Eden. It's a lot of fun. Our state, probably unlike a lot of other states, we are not as focused on fighting as we are as about building relationships and friendships with other states and other people. And and we work towards unity and helping each other. I mean, it's a family. It's a family.
Do you have any suggestions for the game?
I have a lot of suggestions for a game, and I reached out to some of the people in our family, in the BK family, and in the state to ask things that they had questions about, and things, suggestions. And I think that the way Last Shelter is moving now, with Discord, I mean, I think that having a banter back and forth between the developers and the players is a positive thing. I think it needs to happen. I think, as I said, Last Shelter Survivor, it's a social media platform. It's not too much unlike Reddit or Twitter, but without the meanness and the thing, and it has a fun game with it. But, there's lots of things to do. They come up with a lot of interesting things to do. I think there's ways that we could improve the game. I am concerned about the future of the game because of how, and I would be considered a moderate spender in the game, but I worry about, and I'm concerned about free-to-play players and new players, because with the amount of different techs and all the new parts and different things, it'd be hard for anybody to come in and not spend. And the future of the game depends on new players and free-to-play players, I think, who will be most likely future spenders. But most people in the game want power. I mean, I've noticed that. People migrate because they want to go to a stronger state, or they want to have more fights. And my advice to you on that would be, as in life, embrace relationships, avoid chasing power, because there's always somebody smarter, faster, stronger, and better at pretty much everything, as it goes for life. And if you're at the top of the food chain, congratulations, you got a God-given gift. But otherwise, it's going to really cause you a lot of problems. It's going to burn you out, and you're going to be out. And then when all those spenders and all those strong players burn out, it's going to really torch some states. They're going to end states, and I think it'll change the game. And I think that Last Shelter is very people-oriented, and I would focus on that.
On the 3rd anniversary of LS, what do you want to say about LSS?
Okay. Can I stop you there for a second? We missed about players or people. You missed question 4.
Which mode of the game you like more?
No.
Do you have any suggestions for the game?
No.
What was your first impression of Last Shelter? Introduce yourself. How long have you been playing the game? Do you make good friends in the game?
There we go.
I asked you that.
No. Well, you didn't. You said
Did
we'll take a break for a second.
make any good friends in the game?
I didn't catch that part of it.
You said it.
Okay, what was that question? Let's go back to it. Because I have to cover a bunch of people's names and stuff in this. You're my friends. Because you're supposed to give an example of who you did and who you asked to come back. We're 12 minutes on this one. It's going good, isn't it? But I noticed that you have to say who you know and an example of that. Can you ask those questions? Because I don't know them unless you ask them, so I can't start just saying stuff. I don't know how you reverse that back, but
We'll finish the last question and then we'll do the other question.
okay. So the last question was on the 3rd anniversary of.
LS, what do you want to say about LSS?
Okay,
Just finish your cigarette. Be good.
that's only part. Oh, a second. I'm just trying to get so I don't cough. On the anniversary of LSS, what do I want to say?
I'm gonna reword that one because it's too
Is that something in the sky there? Above that cloud, right? See where? Middle cloud, big cloud. Little peak cloud right in the center, off to the left. way down in the hole and two little clouds up above it. I saw a black lion thing there. Could have been a bird, but it looked pretty big.
I think I blinded myself.
I was tripping.
You got some strong eyes for blue eyes.
Yeah, it just caught my attention. It could have been a bird flying. Okay. On the 3rd anniversary.
Let me reword it so that's.
Okay, go ahead and ask a question.
On the 3rd anniversary of LSS, what do you want to say?
Well, on the 3rd anniversary, happy anniversary, of course. It's been a fun carnival and lots of things to do. I think the game has evolved considerably. I think that if you're looking for suggestions that I would make, we've had some suggestions of we need like 3 to 4 weeks between Eden seasons to avoid burnout and people taking breaks. You could even play at Eden for 60 days and still get 4 seasons in a year. I think the short times in between seasons are a little tough on everybody. I think the developments of the new weapons and different techs are good. I think we should have some days that packages are half price for some of the people that live in different areas. I mean, this is a game that involves people from all around the world. I mean, people that somebody like me would never get to talk to you. Like, I have friends from Australia and India, China, Japan, New Zealand, Danish folks, Russia, I mean, everywhere. And you would never talk to them, and we're good friends. So I think that by not allowing or rushing it, it doesn't give time to unwind and talk about your season and social stuff, family stuff. I have a lot of friends that I've made, and I talked about that. They're like family. I'll name some names in my thing. I started off back when the state first opened up, and a guy named Tektucha1 took me under his wing and kind of helped me out and sent me around. He sent me to a guy named Columbus, which I've tried to get to come back to the game, but he's just kind of vanished. But he mentored me and helped me. So, and that's what I like to do now. But I have a good friend, Brody Smasher, from Australia, and she's gone through some personal stuff and had a family member lost, and it affected me like it would if I lost a member of my family. It was very saddening, and I think it did with the rest of the BKA family as well. It just we're all that close that it affects you when something happens to their families. Indian fighter had a surgery, and everybody's concerned about that. I have a friend, Kaka Shibe, and Sanat, one from Indonesia and one from India, I believe. And there's Curry and Curry Cuz and Uriel. Naughty Biking is a very good friend and mentor. We have Anan and Union from GLB that are in 880. We just played with SF8 in Eden, and what a great group of people they are. Art of War was one that was great, Venom, Double Dog. And just recently we had an old player, Ole Dog. He's a good friend of mine, and he stopped playing and migrated to another state, then stopped. And then we talked, we just ran it. I sent him an email and he answered back. He's just checking in, and he didn't sound back with us, and he's an R4 now. I'm the guardian of PKA, so Naughty's R5. But there's so many people I could mention. Mel's very nice, a young lady from Turkey. And let's see who else we got. There's Bell Raven, Khan. There's so many people that I can mention, and I'll leave some people out I know. But Diablo, which, I thought at first it'd be a little awkward, but he's a great guy, and so many good people in the game. So we ask in Eden, and people have left 926 and migrated and feel found out that grass isn't always as green somewhere else as it is at home. And we're seeing people come back home and playing for the enjoyment of the game. So I would say keep doing what you're doing, and let's focus on taking care of the players, taking care of the heart and soul of the game, and the free-to-play players. Definitely, as you know from the last event, that's something that we need to address. Take care.